Hello, welcome to this video on Bodhicaryavatara, chapter 7, verse 70. As usual, I shall read it without the text up in front of you, and then with. Tailapatrabharo yadvad asyastair adhishtitaha skalite maranatrasat tatparasyat tathavrati. I'll call up the text. Oh, sorry, here we are. तैलपात्रभरो यद्वदसि हस्तैरधिष्ठितः स्खलिते मरणत्रासात् तत्परः स्यात् तथाव्रती. The imagery here is the story of how one-pointed concentration really can or should be. The story is that there was this miscreant who was ordered by the king as a punishment to carry a jar, an earthenware jar full of oil, presumably olive oil or something like that, or sesame oil probably, to carry it through a crowded square where there were festivities going on. And the punishment was, it was filled to the brim, the punishment was that if he spilt a single drop, then the swordsman behind him would hack his head off. If, on the other hand, he got back without spilling a single drop, then he would be let off. So, in great fear, but fully concentrating his mind on carrying that jar, he managed to get round the town, through the market square with the festivities going on, and back to the king without a drop being spilt. And he was asked, "How did you enjoy the festival?" He said, "What festival? I didn't notice there was one going on." So intent was he on not spilling a single drop. So that is the imagery for perfect one-pointedness of mind. That is the Tailapatra Bharo. Tila means the sesame plant or the sesame seed, and Taila is a derivative noun from it. Just as we have, let me call up. Tila. And here we're looking at vriddhi, guna and vriddhi, I. These are the gradations of the strength of the vowels. With vriddhi of the first vowel, you can make a derivative noun. So tila is the sesame or sesame seed, and taila, the derivative form with the vriddhi itu I, specifically means relating to sesame seed, from sesame seed, and therefore sesame seed oil. So sesame oil. And we have it also in, for example, the word shila, meaning a rock. And by the same process of vriddhi derivation, you get shaila. Shaila, as an adjective, it can mean rocky, but used as a noun, it can mean either a large rock or a mountain, so it's something consisting of rock. So here we've got the taila, meaning oil, and specifically sesame oil. Patra, I'll call the text back. Patra is a vessel, as in a container, from the root pa, to drink, and then with the suffix tra, meaning an implement or a tool for doing something. So patra literally is something for drinking with, but then by extension, any kind of vessel, like any kind of jar or pot can be a patra. And bharo is from the root bhre, to carry. So a taila patra bharo, literally an oil jar carrier, somebody carrying a jar of oil. Yadvad, there's some suffix vad, it's the same as there's in bhagavad and so on. So the stem vant consisting of is bhagavan, bhagavantam, consisting of or possessing bhaga, blessings. Also, the stem form of that ending, the vat, is used to mean like. So tadvat, like that. Yadvat, as. Yadvad means effectively the same as yatha. So like or similar to. So tailapatra bharo yadvad, just like this oil vessel carrier. Asti hastair adhishtita. From the root sta, to stand, adhi sta, which by santi becomes adhishta, literally to stand over. And then it means to, by extension, to attend to something, to be on duty over it, to watch over it. And if you are the past participle, then passive participle adhishtita, stood over, literally, overstood, meaning superintended by. You've got these swordsmen standing over you. Superintended, overseen, supervised. Asi hasta. Asi means a sword. Hasta means hand. Asi hasta is a possessive adjective, meaning a person who has a sword in his hand. A sword hand, meaning a person with a sword in his hand. And this is the instrumental plural, asi hastai, and by santi, asi hastair adhishtita, superintended by sword hands, superintended or being watched by people with swords in their hands. So Yadvad, just as the Tailapatra Bharo, the person carrying this pot of oil, Syat, Syat would be Tatpara. So I'm working off two screens here. Would be Tatpara, solely intent upon that. I've done a note on that bit below. So just as this person carrying the vessel of oil, Syat, would be Tatpara, totally intent upon it. Maranatrasat, death from death fear, that's the ablative. Trasa is fear. Maranatrasa, death fear, the fear of death. This is the ablative of cause. Maranatrasat, from the fear of death or because of the fear of death. Skalite, root skal, to stumble. Skalita is the past participle used as an adjective. It means stumbling or unsteady, as in one's way of walking, one's gait. And also as a noun, and the act of stumbling. Skalite, in stumbling. So, skalite maranatrasat, in stumbling from the fear of death. In other words, because of he's afraid that he will die if he stumbles or in a stumbling. Because if he stumbles, he'll spill some of the oil and the swordsman will kill him. And then finally, tata vrati. Vrata is a vow, and specifically In the Mahayana context, it is the vow of the Bodhisattva. That's the noun vrata. So the vrati, that's our stem vratin, as in yoga, yogin, vratin, nominative singular vrati, tata vrati, so the person who has taken the vow. In other words, just as the Tailapatra Bharo, Yadvad, just as Tailapatra Bharo, the oil vessel carrier, Adhishtita, superintended, overseen, Astihastai, by the sword hands, people with sword in his hands, Tatpara Syat, Syat would be Tatpara, totally intent on that, Tatpara, Maranatrasat, from the fear of death, Skalite, in a stumble. In other words, if he's fearful of death if he stumbles, all of that, Tata Vrati, thus the vow taker, meaning the vow taker acts in exactly that same way with total dedication to his vow. So I'll read that through again. Tailapatra bharo yadvad asihastairadhishtitah Skalite maranatrasat tatparasyat tathavrati. And again, Tailapatra bharo yadvad asihastairadhishtitah Skalite maranatrasat tatparasyat tathavrati. And that concludes this video on verse 70.